Do is I am going to record it. So I just hit the record button. You guys can both see my screen, right? It should say,
Yes.
okay, good. It should say combo selling. Perfect. Um, and we're going to go through it kind of quick because I just have the two of you on. I have these pre-recorded from before, but it's nice to go through it actually with you. So I will have the conversation as well about attendance. And what's expected from the program. Obviously, again, you get out of it what you put into it. So trying to be on the calls and be on time is, obviously what we try to do on these so that you get everything out of it, right? So we're going to go into conversational selling. Cassandra and I kind of talked about it, the preamble to it. So it really takes you, and it says it here, from opportunity taker to opportunity maker. It's one of my favorites in that I think it's a really nice way to kind of go back and look at the way we're talking to people, the way that we're selling the opportunity. Obviously, this can all be utilized in sales as well, but we're today talking more about selling the Avon opportunity, getting somebody to join our team, right? Oops, my computer. Wonderful. So again, I really think this is important for everyone, even if you're the top recruiter in Avon, right? It's a good way to go back and look at, again, the way you're speaking to people. Is it really with their best interest in heart? Is it really relationship building? Or are you just putting that blank statement out there about what Avon is and what it does for you? Or are you really getting to know the person? So today we're going to look at GROW, the acronym GROW. Um, and that is GROW, get to know the person and their needs, recommending the right Avon solution, offering a relatable story, sounds familiar, right? To demonstrate your belief, and then working to establish next steps. We're going to also look at the S in Boss Life, which is selling or conversational selling, which is what this module is about. So today we'll focus on that S. And you might be thinking about the Avon opportunity is also the O, or outreach, right? So selling the opportunity, we automatically go to outreach. So we'll align the O in BOSS when we're discussing planning later in the program. So we're really going to talk about O in outreach and planning, but today we're going to talk more about selling. Again, keep thinking in the back of your head, selling, yes, products, but at the forefront, selling the opportunity. So do any of you guys want to talk about, or can you admit to being either too timid or too passive, or have you had a salesperson who's one or the other? Like they're either really timid or passive, or they're really, really super aggressive. Have you guys had that before? No, neither one of you.
I'm still getting to know my team members, but the ones that I do know, they post online, but they're not really sales based. They don't come from sales backgrounds, so
Yeah.
they don't want to be. Well, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be this, and I was like, it's not that. It's trying to get people to listen to you and tell them why the product is still around and how long the product's been around, and most of them are doing the Avon U, so they're feeling more comfortable with the products and what they're learning. I have one that she will not promote a product unless she's used it, which I can't do that because I have like super sensitive skin. So I just think that for me, none of mine are really uh, aggressive. They're very timid and passive. They'll do a lot of social media, but they want most of their sales to come from online, so they don't really have to have a lot of contact with people. Is what they're
Okay.
wanting.
So what about not an Avon? So have you guys ever like been to Belk and had somebody who's either really super timid or really overly aggressive at selling? It could be anywhere.
Well, that's
Yep.
what I meant when I said a little while ago. That's what I've encountered out in public because I'm not a shopper. Yeah, I know I'm in the wrong business, but I'm not a shopper, so I kind of have an idea when I go to the store what I want.
Mhm.
And usually when they come up and ask me what I'm looking for, whatever, I let them know. And if they don't have it, basically that's it. you can ask me one time, would you like to see something else? But once I've told you no, don't keep trying to push other things on me when that's not why I'm there.
Okay, so yeah, that's the super over aggressive, right? So what are you looking for? We've got this, it's really fantastic. It's not, and it's not even anything that you're looking for, right? I always think of that overly aggressive salesperson like at the car dealership, right? They're like trying to sell
Oh,
you all the bells and whistles. You're not walking out of there unless you get a new car, right? Super aggressive. I always find them to be really, really aggressive. And then
right.
timid or passive. So this is an example on the screen. I really enjoy working for a mom. Maybe we can chat one day and I can tell you what it will do for you. That is what I hear, I would say 99% of the time from leaders and representatives. So I really like it. I think you'd like it, right? But it's never getting to a point or saying why it would be good for that person, right? So the super timid, kind of like what you said, Cassandra, about your people and selling, right? They're just like, they kind of want it to be handed to them, or they're like, it's really great, but they're never saying, why is it really great?
I think I started out like that, feeling
Mm-hmm.
self-conscious about promoting products if I either didn't use it myself or knew somebody that I trusted to give me a good opinion.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I've started trusting, attending meetings and listening to the webinars and watching them and stuff, taking from that to be able to, whether I use it or not, this is what it's good. I'm still learning the products, but this is what it's good for. And if this is what you're looking for something to do, that's what this product is designed or developed to do. And I kind of come at, and I'm not sure if that's the right approach,
Yeah.
but I'm still feeling my way into promoting products that I'm not familiar with.
Good. So that's what we're going to talk about too, as you hit it right on the head. Um, Building that confidence. And that's a lot of the time what it is. But you don't need to really know everything or be an expert on anything to get to know somebody else and what they need. So again, we're going to go over that grow model and really talking about my favorite part is really getting to know that person and what they're looking for before you can say why Avon is good for them. And then sharing your story or someone else's with them, right? In order to support their belief, and then setting up an appointment with them or setting up a time to sign them up, or sometimes it's an on the spot sign up too. But again, I'm not going to go over that in great detail with you today, because more than likely if you're building a relationship, the sign up might not be right at that time of your first conversation. It may be 3 days from now or a week from now, right? We let them do some research and get to know Avon and what we're about. So breaking down the conversation into small little bite-sized chunks allows each to consider the importance of the next step. So we're going to go into each one of these in a little bit more depth. So getting to know the person and their needs, right, which is the G. It's about starting the conversation, be it with someone you've known for a while. So Cassandra right now is pretty new, right? So you're looking at your friends. I know that's kind of who you've gotten to sign up so far, right? Friends and family. So those are people you already have a relationship with, right? That you can really talk to because you already know them. Or it may just be a chance encounter, somebody you've never talked to before, a complete stranger. We meet people every day that we know this would be good for them, right? So once you get talking, you're going to be able to dig deeper and uncover this person's needs and wants if you don't already know them. And it's really important to understand what the person wants or needs in order to, again, be able to recommend the right Avon solution for that person. So what's the last place that you guys had a chance encounter? So that you met someone out and about, can you think of the last time, and you really struck up a conversation with them? And maybe you offered them the
I had,
opportunity. Go ahead.
I had one this past weekend, yesterday in fact, and she came up and we started talking, and she loves Avon, and she was interested in actually joining and being a rep. And but I was about to sign her up, but she didn't have any money on her credit card at the time.
Okay.
So I gave her a couple books. Plus, she was with a teenager of a friend of hers was with her, and she wanted to be an Avon rep too. So I just talked to her, and I said, "Well, how old are you?" And she said, "Well, I'm 15." I said, "Well, no, you can't be a rep yet. In 3 years you can be."
Mm-hmm.
And so they were talking and saying, well, her mother was really interested in Avon too. And so the first lady, I was saying, well, see, that could be the first person you sign up, and then the young lady can work with her mother, and then by the time she turns 18, she would actually have built her own customer base.
Okay.
And so talking with them a little bit more, so anyway, I went ahead and gave them a couple of books and told them, if they get $150 in, the first lady, if she gets $150 in orders, to let me know, and we would go ahead and get her signed up, because her joining fee would come from what she would earn from those $150 or the sales.
Great. So a try it
And
kit,
so,
right? Great.
yeah, to get her try it kit. And so I got her text. I did get a name in her text, and I went ahead about 5 minutes after they left. I went ahead and text her the link to my e-store again, so that if she decides to go ahead and do it on her own, she can just click on it and go. And in a couple of days, I'll follow up with her to see how she's doing. She said it'll probably take her, to the end of the month maybe, to go ahead and get the $150 worth of orders. But she did mention that she does get paid this Friday.
Okay.
So I'll probably just follow up to see if she wanted to take her own money or she would rather wait. And and I showed her my big kit, and showed her everything that was in it, and sent her the flyer that we have that
Yep.
has the
The
three
daily care.
kits.
Yep. Oh, okay. The
No, not
flyer
the,
with
I
the three.
forgot. Well, the
Yep.
daily. Well, I wanted her to confirm her email address. Then I was going to send the daily care,
Gotcha.
because that would require more explanation than to put it in text message.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I felt kind of good, particularly after attending the meeting on Saturday. I was still kind of pumped up from
Yeah, we
that.
were just talking about that before you got on. Absolutely. Good. Good.
So
So
is this the Cassandra that's on the call that was sitting at
it is.
that bronze ambassador?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's great to put a face.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting over to the right of you, the second table from the front, closest to the wall. So so I saw you. Okay, well, good. I'm glad, and congratulations.
Yeah, definitely. She was up there with
Okay.
Leslie and Mada E.
Right on the panel, right.
Yeah.
She was also sitting at the first table,
Oh,
one row over from me, and at the front. Yeah.
good.
Yay.
So
Say that again, Cassandra.
I always try to sit in the T zone.
Yep, that's what they teach you, right? That's what I always was taught too. Sit up there, so you can see everything, and you're in the front. I always was told stay in the front, so that's what I
Yeah. I couldn't
do.
remember everybody's name, and I was waiting to see if anybody came up from the group, and I was like, okay, maybe none of them came. So
Aw.
I was just so excited to see people and just be there. And I tend to sit either all the way in the back so I don't have to keep turning around to see people, but I'm always going to sit near a door because I have asthma and allergies. And if I start coughing real bad, if I'm close to the door, I can dip out. And so, but Saturday, I needed a plug because my laptop was dead. So we sat over to the right, but still close enough in the front where
Good.
we could see everything going on. Yeah, but it was a great, great, great. You're going to be there Friday, right, Jessica?
Yes, I'll be at the Road to Maui with Gina. Yes, I will be there.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
So we'll be there. I'll be there then too.
Good. Awesome. So good. So yeah, absolutely. Those are chance encounters. you have them everywhere, right? You have them at the mall. Here they're giving you some examples. The coffee shop, that's one of my favorite places to go. So that's usually where I am. I also frequent the grocery store because I'm really bad and I feel like I have to go to the grocery store every day. So that's a great place. But they give us a couple more examples, like just a friend's party, happy hour, like that one, right? You're out having a drink with some friends after work. It's a great place to meet people. Um, we said the grocery store, the neighborhood block party, especially this time of year. We've got Memorial Day we just had, we've got 4th of July coming up. There's always those big block parties this time of year, so those are great ones. Business
I've been
waiting.
sitting.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking this morning I'm going to graduation on Wednesday. Okay, Lenore, can't take a whole lot inside, but what can I have in my pocket that I could just put in somebody's hand?
Business
So
cards.
definitely samples.
Do you ever make the little
Um,
bombitas? Because they're easy enough
yeah,
to
I
carry.
do.
Yeah,
I do. I do those all the time.
you could put a little recruiting flyer in there, a sample or two, and then your card. So, that's
Yeah, and then
great.
what I do is I use the mini brochures
I love those.
and
Yep.
fold them in half.
Yep.
Yep, I fold them in half, and probably I'll use the Skin So Soft. Those little mini Skin So Soft
Yeah, they're
samples.
amazing.
Yeah, and put that in there. That's usually what I use, and maybe one or two pieces of candy because people be standing around. They'll need something in their
That's
mouth.
a good thing to put candy in there. Yep. I used to do that too. I can't ever find them anymore. The little mints you used to get at the dollar store with like the money on them, the $1 million mints I called them. I can't find
Oh,
them, but they were
okay.
awesome to put in the bombitas. But I can't,
Oh,
I haven't seen them in forever. So yeah. So we see people all the time that we don't know. So now we're going to talk about how we're going to build that confidence and be able to confidently strike up a conversation with somebody, right? So it's important to have that kind of in your arsenal. Like, what am I going to say, right? So the first option is going to be, let me see, it came up here. So common ground. So, wow, this line's really long at the grocery store, right? Who has time for this? What would you, and then you always want to have that digging deeper question, that open-ended question to follow it up, because so many times we say that and then we just stop, right? We're like, yeah, it is long. We don't want to ask anything else. We're just like, okay. So something like, how would you rather be spending your time? The next one is compliment. That's me all the way. I'm just more, I guess, comfortable complimenting someone coming from the retail background. If someone walked in my store, I always went up to them complimenting them. And it's never insincere. It really truly is whatever I like about them, whether I like their shoes or their earrings, or I think their hair looks really great. Where did they get their hair cut? Whatever. Um, so I would never say, wow, you look sharp. What do you do? But I may say something like, wow, those are great earrings. Where did you get them? You look really nice. What do you do? So I may elaborate on it a little bit. While you look really put together, or, where are you going? Because of the way they're dressed, whatever it may be. And then if you ask them what they do and they say, I work at an office building as an administrative assistant. Oh, how do you like it? Right? So you're just getting to know them. You're asking open-ended questions. You didn't say anything about Avon. Nothing. So there's no Avon coming in at all, right? We're just starting to get to know the person. So again, you want to start with that warm-up conversation, having open-ended questions, and then after you connect and get the person talking, so hopefully they just keep talking, right? You're going to find out what matters most by asking those why, what, how, who, when, and tell me more kind of questions. So this is my favorite quote, and you're going to hear me say it a few times in conversational selling. Be interested, not interesting. So don't be the one that's constantly talking. Get them talking and learning as much as you possibly can about them. So how's your job going? Tell me about what you do. How do you do it? Managing your family and a career. What do you think is the hardest part of staying home with your kids? So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've got 3 kids, right? If you could change your situation, what would you change? Love that one. I love to say too, like, if there's one thing you could change, what would it be? And why do you like to volunteer with the PTA so much? So maybe you're at a PTA meeting. Oh, why do you do this? And then digging deeper questions. So once you ask a good open-ended question, it's important to really get in there. You really want to dig deeper. You really want to find out what matters to this person so that you really can offer a solution to them based on what they're telling you. So why is making friends important to you? Maybe they said that, right? They said, oh, I just moved here. I really don't have any friends. So why is it important for you to make friends? What would more flexibility in your day mean to you? I work all the time. I don't even have time to go grocery shopping. I've been here for 5 minutes. I cannot wait in this line. Like, I have to get back to work. What would more money mean to your family? What could you and your family do with more money? Right? That's a little bit of a different way to reword that. So these are some good questions. Again, they don't work in every situation, so you have to kind of think on the fly, and the only way you can do that is by practicing. So we're going to start a little conversation. I only have the two of you on, so I'm going to ask if you guys would read these, if that's okay with you. Are you guys game? If not, I can be someone.
Sure.
So who would like to be the representative and who would like to be the person that we're out prospecting?
I'll be the customer.
You want to be the customer?
Well, this will give me some practice. Okay.
So who's the customer?
Me.
Cassandra? Okay.
Yeah.
So Cassandra is the customer. So we've got Sally. Sally, that's you, Lenore. You're the leader. You're just reading it. So you guys don't have to come up with anything on the fly. It's funny. You're just reading.
Oh, good.
And then, yeah, you're fine. And then Sarah is going to be you, Cassandra. You guys met at spin class. And Lenore, Sally, I'm air quoting and you guys can't see me. You asked Sally, or you asked Sarah to have a cup of coffee. So I'll prompt you guys what to read. So you're gonna go first. Go ahead. Who's the leader?
Hi,
again?
Sarah.
There you go.
Happy Friday. I'm so glad we can connect for coffee.
Oh, I'm backwards. I thought, why did I think it? Who's the leader now? I thought Cassandra was the leader.
Lenore.
No, I'm not. Me too. That spin class was awesome. We have so much fun. It's a great stress relief.
I'm with you. I feel great after every class. Did I hear you say that you have 3 kids, one which is in college? I have only one little guy, and I feel like I can hardly keep my head above water.
Yes, that's right. I also have a crazy dog, and my 2 boys are on a traveling soccer team. So I spend my weekends shuffling them around all over the place.
Schlepping. I know, schlepping. That word gets somebody every time because I feel like nobody says schlepping anymore.
All right. Okay, I don't envy you there. What else causes your stress?
Ooh, there's that digging deeper question.
Gosh. I work from home as a book editor. I spend my days on the computer with very little interaction. I need to connect with a human over the age of 14.
Oh, I feel ya. I need one over 5. Great.
I get it. If you could create the life you dream about, what would that life look like?
Ooh, okay.
I would have less stress. I would have lots of friends to hang out with, and I would have plenty of money to help pay for my daughter's college and travel. I love experiencing new places. I do love to travel. That's actually true.
So see, and yeah, there's pieces, you hear me going, because there's pieces of all of this conversation that we can relate to, right? But has anybody ever asked you, if you could do this with let me go back to the slide, if you could create the life you dream about. So if you really had, so what would you want to do? If you had your perfect scenario, your perfect life, what would it look like? I've never had anybody ask me that. I mean, that's
true,
right? That's really going to open up the floodgates. What else? How else do you think she's feeling when Sally says to Sarah, what else causes your stress?
She's trying to figure out which
Yeah.
one to talk about,
Yeah,
probably.
she's also listening. She cares, right? I heard what you said. I heard you're under a lot of stress. What else is causing you stress? I love that. So here we're going to dig deeper. So I'm going to continue with you guys.
So, Sarah, why do you feel being connected and having friends are important for you now?
Since my divorce, I have felt so isolated. We had to move to a new area, and I have not felt up to finding new friends.
Oh, there's something in the middle of this thing.
Something in the middle of it.
So maybe my oh, the line, I guess. Let me see if I can do it. I totally understand. I'm divorced, and I felt that the same way when I went through it. You mentioned,
I'll read it. You mentioned you would
oh,
love to
it
have
wraps
more money
around.
to help
So,
pay for college and travel more. What would it mean to you if you had more money for these things?
Well, first, I would feel relieved that my daughter would not graduate from college with a ton of debt. I don't want her to have that level of stress at such a young age. Also, by having more money to travel, I could fulfill my lifelong dream of visiting Europe.
Hmm.
ooh.
So again, how would you feel if this was a true conversation that you were having? Do you now feel, Sally, that you can sell the opportunity to Sarah based on everything you just learned about her?
Yes.
Yeah, because you know a lot, right?
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
you would use those things that she'd like to, like her daughter, you'd use Avon as a way to
Hmm.
supplement
You got it.
and eventually grow, to be able to do those things, like with the daughter,
Yep.
especially with the daughter going to college. That's a whole new market
Yep. You're
because she
gonna.
would actually be able to recruit her daughter to sell on campus
Yep.
to her friends.
Yep.
And
And
then
not
that way
only,
it empowers her daughter as well to not have debt when she
Mm-hmm.
gets out of college.
Yep. Great.
and not only that, I grabbed the more personal aspect of it where this is somebody that you would also want to try to get more people around
Yep.
and invite, maybe host a party for her.
Yes.
Um,
Meetings, parties, right? She wants friends.
yeah, she needs some more friends. And so that is definitely something like you could help her do to say, hey, I'm not only going to help you build a business, but I'm going to help you socialize as well because she's
Yeah.
not
That's
staying
true.
at home because she's working at home. So you're helping her in a couple of areas in her life by hosting parties or inviting her to meetings and events and opportunities for her to meet other people.
Absolutely. So
And that was an
go
and
ahead.
that was an eye opener for me too because I started selling Avon the week after I retired. And that was a realization that that's, the socializing, unless you're working every day or you have some other, something consistently where you're going out or seeing people on a regular basis, whether it's the gym or wherever else, you're kind of isolated
Hmm.
if you don't have that. And what you're saying, Cassandra, is right. By having the party, you're opening the door for her to meet other people, to gain new friends by her working from home that she doesn't have, that we take for granted when we work in an office every day.
Yep. And she does work from
Does that
home.
make
Yep.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. She needs to get out and about too. So she has all of you, right? She has the Avon sisterhood, the Avon community. So, I mean, I think that would be a huge selling point for her as well. Well, listen, we meet every other Thursday at the Starbucks for a leader meeting or a sales meeting once a month. You should join us. We have these great workshops. Come out and join us. We can talk business and you're going to get to know all of these other people in the business who are above 14, right? Who aren't your kids' age, and you can have an adult
Yes.
conversation. Yeah, absolutely. Great points all across the board. So now we want to look at recommending the right Avon solution, but we want to look at the 3 C's first. So we've got clarify her needs and wants, communicate the right solution, and then connecting all the dots. So how the solution meets her needs and wants and bringing that all together so that she understands why. So why these three are important, well, clarify is important is you're making sure you really understand her needs and wants. You're not assuming anything. You know all of this about her, right? We're not assuming she needs more money. We're not assuming she wants to talk to more people. You're possibly identifying additional needs and wants, which you guys just did. And then make sure her needs and wants have not changed since your last conversation. So maybe you talked to her 3 months ago, right? We want to make sure that those have not changed. So we're clarifying what she said. So again, we talked about this. She feels heard. She feels like you care. You really get her, right? You really get everything she's talking about. So then communicating that. So again, it's summing it up into this one simple little solution. So given your need for wanting to connect to people your own age, I recommend you coming and joining my team, because we have these meetings every 3 weeks and you're going to be able to come out and meet all of my partners and be able to have that community of friends that you've been searching for. You'll obviously make some money in the meantime as well, which will help with your daughter and her education. Boom. Straight, simple, to the point, right? We didn't say anything else. We didn't say anything that she didn't say, right? So it's just simple. It's simplicity. And then connecting the dots, which again, I'm going to have you guys read. So you ready? So here you go.
Okay, it sounds like you would love to connect with some new people and make some extra money to help pay for your daughter's college and travel. Is that right?
Yes, I would love to do that.
You should join my team as an Avon representative. You can make new friends and be part of a great group of women. The ladies on my team are fabulous. Everyone supports each other and has a lot of fun. You would love them. As a rep for Avon, you can also earn extra money for your daughter's college and for cool trips. You can help her avoid stress when she graduates, and you can take that dream trip to Europe. Who doesn't want to have fun with friends and make money at the same time?
Oops, hang on. I clicked the wrong button. Oh, no, I didn't. So perfect. You guys literally, before that slide came up, you guys said every single thing that was in there, right? The only thing we didn't allude back to was the taking trips. But you guys you pointed all of that out. So I feel really confident in the two of you that if you start to ask these open-ended questions, that you're going to get it. If you put all the pieces together, right? Because you both came up with everything she said, the daughter's education, all of that. Hanging out with more people her own age, that kind of thing, having that relationship. You both came up with both of those. So you just saw how we put it together and hit everything. So you get to take some trips, but you also can save up for your dream trip to Europe. Boom. Everything she just stated is in that one little paragraph.
So Jessica, when we're going through this project, particularly cold like this, until I get it down, would it be inappropriate for me to take a little card or something, and then while we're talking just jot down so that I can refer back to those things that she feels important?
No, I mean, if you don't think you're going to remember, is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, because when you're talking or having these quick conversations, there's a lot of things said, and you don't want to address each of them, but you could kind of maybe jotting it down to see which one, as she's talking, and I saw, it's kind of like read it, write it.
I don't know if you guys
understand
do that anyway, but as I get a contact, I'll write their name. Like, say I'm out in the field and I'm at the coffee shop. I'll just take that for instance. And I write their name on like a sticky note, or I have them fill out like a survey form or whatever it is. On the back when they leave, I write everything I learned about them.
Okay.
So I really liked her earrings. She said she works across the street at the Steinmart. She's been there for 10 years. She has 3 kids. She said she wants to make more money. She said she hates her job. She said whatever, all of it. I write it all down. Because if you say you're really doing the 5x5, right? Which I know you guys are really, really trying to. Everybody on the call is trying to really do the 5x5, right? Are you going to remember 5 conversations that you had every day? Probably not. You
Mm,
have to write it down, especially
okay.
let's say at the end of the day, you invited Sarah out for a cup of coffee 4 days from now or next week. You're not probably going to remember the conversation. You can even write things like, "Hey, said she didn't have time, but she's going to have coffee with me Tuesday at 4. Had more questions." Whatever it is, whatever you left, why you left it that way. You didn't close her at that time, which we'll talk about close here in a little bit. But you didn't close her at that time. But why? She had more questions. She wanted me to go over it more with her. Whatever it is. Wanted to look at the website. No, absolutely. I would encourage you to write stuff down. I don't know if I would
Okay.
necessarily take notes as I'm talking to them, but like right after they leave, write it all down.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
you
the
want
I'm
to
talking
be,
about. Like as we're talking too.
well, you want to be engaged. And I feel that if
Right.
you're taking notes, you may lose that engagement. But try it. I mean, hey, I'm up for anything, whatever works for you. And we'll always discuss it so you can let me know how it's going. So now let's get back to the O. The O is sharing your belief. Sounds familiar. I'm not going to go super in depth in this, right? But you guys are going to read it. So we went through your belief, we went through your story. The whole last module was about that, right? So again, that's why I was like, keep practicing this, right? Keep fine tuning it. Think about other people that maybe you don't relate to this person, but you know somebody else that does share their story. So just continue to think about that. I'll read this one. I'm going to go really quick. So, let me tell you what has worked for me and others like you. I totally understand how you feel when you say you need to connect with new friends. When my son went to kindergarten, I was totally lost. My whole life had revolved around him and his needs, and I had very few friends. That's when I found Avon. Avon gives me a reason to connect with new people, and it gives me something new to talk about beyond my son and his needs. I absolutely love it. I've made so many new friends. You know, you remind me a lot of Suzanne. Suzanne's my sister in law. She pulled me aside a few years ago and was interested in learning more about Avon. Every year, Suzanne takes a trip with her girlfriends. My brother always complains because they really can't afford it, but Suzanne refuses to give up her girl time. So she was looking for something to help her pay for the trips herself. She found that Avon gave her the opportunity to not only pay for the trips, but to also have more girl time with new friends. I really believe that Avon might be the right opportunity for you. So there's her story, but also incorporating her sister-in-law's story as well to make her feel like it's more relevant to her. Make sense? So you guys can kind of see what that looks like. So offering that relatable story, the O and grow. And you guys have each other. So the question at the bottom of the screen is, what other stories can you share besides your own? Again, I'm sure you have people out there, but you also have each other that you heard all of your stories that you can share as well. So the W, working to establish next steps. So you always want to ask, right? If you don't ask, you don't know. So this is what we call the close. And many of you on your assessment on your competencies put that you were challenged in the close area. So this is the close. I call it confidently closing. I call it being politely aggressive, because if you don't assume the sale, then you just lost it. So you have to assume it. You just had this wonderful conversation, right? You just got to know this person. You just told them why this is going to be so amazing. So now you have to close. So great. You can just ask, right? So why don't we get you started today? Let's get you started today. That's my favorite one. Let's get you started today. Honestly, I would love to have you join my team. How can we make it happen? That one's great too. What additional information do you need to get started? Now that is going to give you probably either a nothing, right? Or it's going to give you, oh, I need to go talk to my husband, or I need to think about it, or I just need to get more information. I don't know what. Can you go over the website with me? Whatever it is, but be prepared for that one. What additional information, if any, can I provide to help you determine if Avon opportunity is right for you? So I just determined that it's right for you. So I just determined, you could say, we just determined that Avon's right for you. Let's get you started. I mean, I would cut that right off. Let's get you started. So we just determined Avon's the right solution for you, right? Let's get you started. I want you on my team. Let's do this. Make sense? Do you
Yeah.
do you guys have any other ways? I know this is where everybody gets tripped up because you have to
Well,
ask.
that's what I need help with, like my situation with her not having the money right then. And that's always been
You
an
did the right
issue with a
thing,
lot of the people.
but you
Right.
did
And
the
so
right thing.
what I've tried to do in the past is kind of ask them to be a helper.
I
Uh,
did the right thing by offering the try it kit
yeah.
because
Okay.
she
Because,
wants
yeah, the
to do
helper
it.
wasn't.
She wants to do it. So if she wants to do it, then and we're going to go through that. I don't know if you looked at your application guide or not, but at the end, it's one of the questions of the
Okay.
application guide, Lenore. It actually asks you if they don't. So here, let me go to the next slide because it says if there's obstacles, right? So the obstacle usually for us is either they just don't want to do it, they need to talk to their husband, they're not sure, right? Or they want to do it, but they don't have the money. So by not having the money, you were absolutely right. You have to offer a try it kit and show them how to make the money. You can use that daily care bundle though to you don't even have to give them a book. You can give them the daily care bundle and tell them they need to sell 8 daily care bundles and it will pay. It
Well,
will
that
pay for
made
them
me
to
realize
join.
I needed to get some flyers. I needed to get some of the 3 kits and get some flyers of the daily care
You
bundle to
can
keep on
text it.
hand.
So you can just text it out to them and you can tell them, here, I texted out for you with the words to use. We have it. If you don't have that text, I'm going to send it to you.
Oh,
The
please.
words to use, and literally you just you attach the picture to the text and you say, here's your way to earn your kit. Send this to as many people in your phone as you can. You're going to earn 40%. It will help buy you kit. And all they have to do is copy and paste the picture. They don't have to recreate the wheel. And they just text
And
it
then
out.
I could actually do that as part of my follow up with this call,
Mhm.
well, with the lady from yesterday.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep. So these are what I was talking about. You have to be prepared with what you're going to say. If you hear a yes, guess what? You better be ready to sign the person up. So it's easy now because we don't have to have a kit anymore, right? We used to have to have the kit and have to have the application and have all that. We don't need that anymore. So literally, you just pull out your phone, make sure your phone's charged, or you have your iPad with you, or whatever you do, but make sure you're prepared to be able to go on and sign that person up. Don't say, here's my reference code, right? And here's my referral code, and you can go on startavon.com. Pull it out, go to startavon.com and get them going. If you hear maybe, then that's when you may want to restate the benefits, right? You may want to go over it again. Well, we talked about this and you were nodding your head. And I know that, you're really going to benefit from this and you want to go to Europe. How else are you going to get to Europe? That kind of thing, restating the benefits. You may have to set up a second appointment and that's okay. And then we just talked about the other obstacles. So what other information do you need? I understand you don't have the money. There's a way around that, right? Let me show you how to make the money. Oh, absolutely. You need to talk to your husband. I completely get it. I need to run everything by my husband too. What do you think would be his hesitation? Is there anything I can help answer now? Do you want to call him now and we can ask him? Whatever it may be, right? But you need to respect that, obviously. And then if you hear no. So hearing no, what are some things you guys can do if you hear no? Like I mean a hard no. They're not joining.
You asked them if they wanted to be a helper or if they knew anybody else who might be interested in making
Yeah.
extra. Um, but a lot of times, from what I hear from other reps, is if people start being a helper, and you either whether you pay them with a product or extra discount or give them money if they bring you, just for a little while. I don't know.
Yep.
They end up signing up because
Yeah.
they're like, wait a minute, I
Yeah.
could be earning 50% on the stuff that I'm bringing you, and I'm bringing you $200 of orders every 2 weeks or something. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
And that's
referrals.
actually what I.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually what have done. I have two people that are helpers that will never be reps for personal reasons, and that's fine because that's getting me orders in places
Uh-huh.
that I probably would never have gotten. And then I've kind of taken a hiatus from signing people. This was the first person I actually tried to sign up right away because the last 4 or 5 people I actually signed up, the last one was in October. She has yet to send in her first order. And so I've kind of gotten frustrated with that because I'm hearing, well, I don't have anybody, I don't know anybody. So what I tried to do is take a different tact of trying to recruit them as a helper first.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives them maybe 2 months, maybe it was my little thought in my mind, not to tell them that I was going to eventually try to turn them to be a rep, but to be a helper and let them start building a customer base. And then if I see that's something that, the direction they're feeling comfortable and they want to do it, then talk to them, a little bit more about how you can earn more money than the little 10 or 20% that I'm giving you, discounts or whatever that I'm giving you for being a helper, that
Mm-hmm.
they could actually earn more. So that was what I've been trying to do, but even in doing that, giving them a few books, giving them, just a couple of samples to do that, I don't hear back from them and get no more, feedback or anything from them when I try to contact them to see how they're doing, with getting orders.
Yeah, and
So even that's not working for me right now.
I would only offer a helper if like it's a hard no and they really are trying to make money because you can turn them into a customer. I mean, if they're a hard no and they don't want to join right now, why not just have the relationship with them for as a customer? Is there anyone else that they can refer to you?
Okay, so maybe what I need to do is make them a customer first,
Mm-hmm. But
and then
not leading with that. I mean, that's like last
oh,
resort,
no, no,
right?
no. After I get the no, or if they don't have the money or whatever,
Yep.
yeah.
Good.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I have a lady that I found by stalking Facebook. She was looking for a rep, and I asked her did she want to become a representative because the ladies that she socializes with, they don't have computers, so they need somebody who can hand deliver stuff. Which Jessica, that's not me.
I know. Yep.
So I signed her up under. I'm doing most of the leg work, but I signed her up under my mom as a helper. So she's helping my mom get orders. And when I was home this weekend, which is everybody's like, "How are you doing all this?" I left from the Project Boom, met her in Pineville. I had already sorted it and bagged it up in these cute little bags, and I gave it to her. And so she wanted to be a rep, but she's on disability, and she's scared it's gonna mess with her money. So she's a helper, but now I've been posed to ask her if she may have a relative that may sign up and she can do the work for it. So I'm gonna see if that is even an option for her. But if not, I'll just keep her as my helper. Well, my mom's helper technically, but keep her helping, my mom.
Good.
So.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, it would be like helper would be my last resort, right? Just because
Okay.
I would want them. I mean, unless they, again, if they want to make money and not spend money, they would be a helper, not a customer, right? Um, but yeah, I would still try to my hardest to get them to sign up if they could. But yeah, you're gonna have certain situations where like that where it's not gonna help. But having a helper is fantastic because you still get the sales, right? You benefit from that, so that's fantastic.
Exactly.
So always thinking now again in the back of your head how you're gonna work to next steps. It doesn't matter how they respond. You want to have a roadmap to next steps. So um, set a time expectation is a big one. Be accommodating. So yes, maybe they need to meet at 7:30 at night because they work till 6, something like that. Make sure that you get their information. Huge, 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 huge one, right? And then let them know what the next step is. So I'm going to call you in 3 days just to check in. I'd love to set you up with whatever her sister-in-law's name with. It's escaping me. So you guys can chat because I really think you have a lot in common. And then another like just little informal check-in. How are things going? Is there any other questions you have? And then checking in again to say, you know what? I know you're really interested. I really think it would benefit you to come meet some of these ladies I was telling you about. Why don't you come to my next team meeting? Or why don't you come to the next area sales meeting? It's this day and time. Can you make it? So just always keeping in touch no matter what. If it was a no, if it was a yes, keeping in touch, right? If it was a maybe, if it was I need a more information, just having that roadmap so that you're successful. So here's an example. I'm going to let you guys read again. Yay!
It feels like you're still mulling this over. Why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we can connect again in 2 days. How do you prefer to be contacted?
I prefer text or phone.
Fantastic. Let me add you now. When we connect later this week, we can determine if you think it would be worthwhile to grab coffee with Kelsey. She's fantastic and reminds me of you. We could also have you attend our team meeting if you'd like that.
Great. Talk to you soon.
Great. So, obviously following up, right? We know we need to follow up. We know it's the only way we can be successful in all aspects of our business, right? We have to follow up. So, some follow-up fails, and I hope we know this is not following up at all. If we say to someone we're going to call you in 2 days and we don't call, guess what? You kind of lost all respect with that person, right? Connecting through Twitter when they requested text, email, or Facebook. Oopsie. I know you said you wanted me to text or call you, but I found you on Facebook. No. Not offering anything of value. So not offering them anything, just saying, hey, how's it going? Hey, do you have any questions? You want to reiterate the belief, right? You want to reiterate the value to them. Not adjusting your plan of attack. And then infinity of follow-up. You want to always cut your losses. So when is it time? When is enough time enough time? Do you guys know?
No, not really.
So what it's different for everybody. At what point do you feel like you're going to just cut your losses? So this person said they need some time to think about it.
Well, for me, and this is because I've been in sales, normally after the fifth time, people don't even normally start responding to chat if they're not immediately interested between the fifth and 12th time. So follow up is very important. Because I think also, I don't know if people are testing you, but if I'm going to sign up under you, I need to know that you're really serious about getting me.
You're invested, right? You're invested in me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so, again, it's only between the 5th and 12th time of contact that you make a sale, even though this isn't really sales per se, but it is because you're still trying to get them up under you to recruit. You know, you're trying to recruit them. So I just, again, I have somebody on my team that signed up, was fired up, ready, got the biggest kit possible. I have not heard from her, and it's been a month.
Okay.
And I reached out to her several times, and I'm busy. So in a way, I'm like, if you just wanted $100 in products, dear, we could have just got $100 in products versus you know, signing up and having Leslie asking me, have I talked to her? So
yeah, constantly you're like, stop asking me. I mean, there is a time when it's okay to say enough's enough. So this gives you an example of, you know, a 2-day follow-up, a 4-day follow-up, an 8-day follow-up. Now, does it mean I'm going to completely get rid of the lead? Maybe not. Like, I may pull it out 6 months from now, but I'm not, after 2 weeks, I made a 2-week follow-up call. I'm probably not going to call them on a regular basis again, right? I'm not going to continue to reach out to unless I talk to them. If I actually talk to them and they were like, hey, Cassandra, can you please call me back next Tuesday? I am so sorry I keep missing you, right? Okay, then I'm going to call them back next Tuesday and I might start my follow-up plan again. But that's different. If it's somebody that you continue to follow up with and they keep blowing you off or whatever it is, I mean, 2 weeks, is a good amount of time, right? Again, I wouldn't toss that lead. I would put it somewhere in your Excel file or wherever you keep your leads and maybe revisit it every 3 months when there's something comes up, or maybe revisit it every 6 months or revisit it every 2 months, whatever your system is. Um, because we know their why can change. We know things can change in their life, but don't constantly follow up with these people, right? Again, I think that 14 days, 8 days, whatever you decide is plenty. Okay. And then growing your business like a boss. So things when you know you're going to feel really good, right? You're rocking it, it says. It's going to feel natural. It's going to feel less salesy. It's going to feel more sincere and less aggressive, right? Or desperate is what I like to say, because I feel like sometimes we get in desperation mode. They're going to be visibly at ease, right? You're going to see them nodding their head, shaking their head. Yeah, yeah, I'm into it. They'll be learning, leaning in, again, nodding. They're going to agree with you, everything you say. You're going to get 15 plus minutes of information being shared with you instead of just that 30 seconds. Oh, okay, yeah, here's my number. Thanks, bye. They're going to be eager to set up the next steps, and they're going to appreciate you actually calling them. Okay, so practice makes perfect. You have to like step out of your comfort zone and try to do that 5 by 5, right? In order to start to be an expert at this. Otherwise, if you're not practicing, you're going to forget everything that we just talked about, right? It's not going to come as naturally to you unless you're practicing. And you can practice with each other. You can practice with me, role playing, things like that. So, did you look at your application guide? Do you have it out? It's okay if you don't. It's really self explanatory, so I'm really not going to go into it in great detail. It literally asks you what you want to do. Now, the very first section, get to know the person and her needs, you can either put in there an actual chance encounter, there's two different situations, or you can make one up. So it's whatever you want to do. So you have two different scenarios of chance encounters, one that's finding common ground and one that's complimenting the person. Again,
Yeah.
if you can take it from an actual situation that's happened to you in the past or that you want to happen, maybe it'll challenge you, then that's great. Because what'll happen is if it's an actual situation, I'm going to go through it with you and I'm going to see what the actual outcome was.
Okay.
If and how we can change it. What was the outcome? Was the outcome a sign up? Was the outcome you have an appointment with her next week? What is the outcome from that first initial situation? And you can build off of that same situation with these other questions, but it's just digging deeper questions. It's, what is their why? What is their additional needs and wants? And it gives you examples before each one. How are you going to ask them to sign up? What story are you going to offer to Joni? It is a very self-explanatory application guide. So I hope you guys, can get through it, and we'll discuss it on our one-on-one in greater detail. But if you have questions about it, of course, ask me. I'm here for you.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I downloaded it.
Okay, good.
So when this application guide, you want us to fill this out and send this back to you?
If you guys can get it to me the day before your one-on-one, I would greatly appreciate it. So
All
like
right.
I don't care if it's 4 a.m. I mean, I'm sleeping then. I hope you are too. But whatever. As long as like I get up and I start work at 7:30 in the morning, as long as I have it, because I prepare. And if I don't get it until 20 minutes before our conversation, I might not have time to prepare because I might be on another call. So I take 30 minutes during the day to prep for our call, for everybody's one-on-one call. And I'm more prepared if I have it, obviously, in the morning when I wake up. Okay. Perfect. And then your hot topic question for our next collaboration call is going to be, who's the most interesting person you know and why? On that, what'd you say?
I have absolutely no clue. No clue.
Well, start thinking about it. So
Gosh.
speaking of that, Cassandra knows this already. We talked about it before you guys got on the call, but I have to change our collaboration for next week. My son has to have surgery on Thursday, so he's fine. Don't worry. But but I'm going to give you guys a choice. So if you guys can come off mute, and I know Betty, you got on the call, so if you're not working as far as mute and whatever, can you just type it in the chat box? Do you guys want to have it Thursday evening, the 14th at 6 p.m., or do you want me to move it to Friday at 1 p.m.? So collaboration next week, the 14th at 6 p.m., or the 15th at 1 p.m.? Lenore?
I would prefer Thursday evening if we could do it then.
Okay.
Or whatever. If we have to go to Friday, if that's what everybody else wants to do, then fine. But Thursday evening would look better.
Cassandra, Thursday evening worked better for you too, right? You didn't care either, but.
Yes.
But you said that first. Okay. So there's 3 of you on. So I'm just going to make an executive, and we're going to do it Thursday at 6 o'clock because both of you, there's only 3 of you on. 2 of you picked Thursday at 6. So that's what it's going to be. And I will put it out there. Don't worry. I will get it out to you guys. I mean, it's not this week, it's next week, but I will get it out to you so that you know that it's been changed. Perfect.
Okay.
Well, good. Does everybody feel good about this module? I love it. Again, I think it just brings up a lot of good conversation. It kind of gets you thinking about those open-ended questions. It kind of gets you thinking about closing in a different way, not just closing the sale, but the opportunity. It really, gets you thinking about growing that relationship and building that relationship and getting those contacts and following up. I think it's just like everything, right? Put all into one. And you guys can utilize this with your team too for sales or selling the opportunity, either one. You can use this module and this grow model. So 4 simple steps, GROW. You really want to get to know each steps and prepare for each steps and practice, practice, practice. It will help you grow your Avon business, I promise. So many people have literally gotten recruits during this module. So it's a really exciting one. So definitely practice it, put it into, work and really get out there and start doing it, and you will get recruits, I promise. So woohoo! Any questions? Any ending remarks?
Some of the information that we learned on Saturday will help us with this as well.
I'm sure.
Especially like using the care package. They went over that formula of how many it would take, to get the money that you want to earn or whatever, about how many of the care packages you would need to sell. So in the case of the person that doesn't have the money to get their joining kit, just to calculate how many care kits they would need to sell to be able to clear whichever one they want to get.
Yep, absolutely. So the Southeast Success Plan, is absolutely part of this as well. So really speaking to the persons once you do get them signed up, or not in the case you're talking about, Lenore, but really, understanding like how much money do they want to make per campaign? How much money do they need to make per month? And then breaking that down with how many daily care bundles they need to sell in their first 1, 2, 3, 7 campaigns, whatever it is. You can break that down, that formula that I'm sure Donna shared with you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have that. So if any of you need to go over that, we can go over that. I have that presentation. I love it. So
okay, because some of us were just taking pictures of the screen.
Yeah, we can go over it on our one-on-ones. It's really, for you guys, it's really just 4 slides, and you can use it as you're speaking to brand new recruits. It's fantastic. Cool. So,
yeah. It gave me a different way of thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's really tailoring it to their needs and wants, right? Yep, perfect. Well, good. Well, thank you, everybody. We ran a little bit over. I apologize. I have recorded it. I will try to get it out by the morning. I'm going to send it to you, Betty, because I know you got on late, and then Felicia, because she was at a doctor's appointment today. So I appreciate you guys being on. Any questions, let me know. I will talk to everybody on our one-on-ones. I believe I've got Betty this week and Cassandra and Lenore next week. So I'll talk to everybody soon. If you need anything, let me know. Have a great night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See you Friday. Bye-bye.
See you Friday. Bye.
Bye.